All right, let's get right into it. Picking an accounting firm for your business, it's so much more than just crunching numbers and filing taxes. Honestly, it's a huge strategic decision. It can either be the thing that fuels your growth or gets you totally stuck. So today, we're going to break down how to make that choice. So, this is the big question, isn't it? When you're out there looking for someone to trust with your company's finances, the options can feel, well, just totally overwhelming. Do you go with one of the big household names, or maybe someone a little more specialized? How do you even decide? And right here, this is the single most important takeaway from the guide we're exploring today. The argument is that the search for an accountant shouldn't be about finding the biggest firm out there, but about finding the right one. It's all about the fit. That's everything. To help us figure out what that right fit actually looks like, we're going to use a simple, but honestly a really powerful framework. We're going to split the entire accounting industry into two totally distinct categories. Now, this whole idea comes from a 2026 guide put out by a firm called Bay Forward. And what they do is they propose this really clear, straightforward way to understand the whole landscape and where different firms fit into the picture. And here they are, the two camps. On one side, you have the industry giants. These guys are built for massive scale and super complex compliance. Then, on the other side, you've got the modern challengers. Their focus, strategy, and helping businesses like yours actually grow. As you can see, two very, very different missions. Okay, let's start with the group you've probably already heard of, the giants. I mean, these are the true titans of the accounting world, and they play a very specific, very important role. So, I want you to think about multinational corporations, huge public companies, global enterprises, that kind of thing. These firms are structured from the ground up to manage incredibly complex financial systems, audits, and regulations, often across dozens of countries. Their entire model is built for that top tier of the market. And the source guide we're looking at even goes a step further and gives a little personality to each of the big four. It kind of positions Deloitte as the go-to for really tangled, complex operations. PwC is known for its structure and global reach. EY focuses on helping companies through big changes. And KPMG? They're seen as a powerhouse in governance and compliance. And, it's no surprise that their core services reflect that focus. It's all about audit and assurance, massive consulting projects, global tax strategy, and risk advisory. These are exactly the services that huge organizations need to stay compliant and operate on a world stage. Okay, so now let's completely pivot and look at the other side of the spectrum. This is where we meet what the guide calls the modern challengers. And believe me, they are playing a completely different game. You see, these firms looked at the market and they spotted this huge gap. While the giants were totally focused on serving those Fortune 500 companies, this whole new generation of fast-moving, innovative businesses needed a completely different kind of financial partner. This quote from the source, it just gets right to the heart of their mission. It's not about looking backward at last year's financials just to check a box for compliance. It's about looking at real-time data to make smarter decisions today that are going to fuel your growth tomorrow. It's forward-looking. So, who is this new model really designed for? Well, the guide is super clear about this. It's for startups that are hustling to find their place in the market. It's for SaaS companies managing all that recurring revenue. And really, it's for any business that's in that exciting, sometimes chaotic, high-growth stage. And a key service they offer is something called business advisory. Now, this is the crucial point of difference. It's not just about doing your books. It's about helping you build financial models, forecast your cash flow, and providing that strategic direction you need to really scale up effectively. They're like a co-pilot. Okay, so we've laid out the two worlds. You've got the compliance-focused giants and the growth-focused challengers. Now for the most important part, right? How do you actually apply this to your own business and make a choice? Look, it's not about which category is better. It's about which one is better for you, right here, right now. And thankfully, the source material suggests a pretty simple framework to help you figure that out. The guide really boils it all down to these 3 steps. First, just be honest about your size and your stage. Are you a brand new startup or a massive global corporation? Second, what do you actually need? Is it help navigating really complex regulations, or is it help figuring out how to scale profitably? And finally, think about your industry. Some fields have some very unique financial challenges. And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? This quote just perfectly sums up this whole explainer. The goal isn't to get the most famous name on your payroll. The goal is to find a true partner, someone who gets what you're trying to build and has exactly the right tools to help you do it. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to reflect on. I want you to look at your current financial setup, whatever it may be, and ask yourself this one simple question. Are they just a record keeper, telling you what happened in the past? Or are they a strategic asset, actively helping you build the future? The answer to that, well, that's going to tell you everything you need to know.